What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to walk you through a few of my tanks right now of my baby fish. So the tank we're currently looking at is a 20-gallon long. I have some fancy guppies in here that are breeding, and also lots of bristlenose plecos. I've been breeding bristlenose plecos for quite some time now, but this is probably by far the most babies I've had in one tank at a given moment. So right now, just everywhere you have little baby plecos. I have a cross from a albino male to regular females. You can see some of the females there on the sponge. So there's an assortment of females in here, and you can see that there are common babies and albinos. So they're throwing like a 50-50 cross, which is pretty cool. I always like pairs that have a variety in their spawns. Over in this wall here, you can see a whole bunch of them. I'm going to take the lid off here and move some stuff around so you can see them swimming and see how many there really are in here. But there's got to be close to 200 plecos in this tank, which is pretty crazy for a 20-gallon tank, and they're all doing really well. Biggest things with the plecos, make sure you give them enough food. I probably put 2 algae wafers in here in the morning and at night every day. And I'm doing like a 50 to 75% water change once a week. Every 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks, I will go through and do a siphon on the bottom, because you'll get a lot of waste that will just rest there that doesn't get picked up on my weekly water changes. So I'll take a closer look at these guys with you, and we can see some of the plecos. As for my lids here, I got the greenhouse siding, very cost effective, and I'm running a sponge filter. And all this green stuff in here is acrylic yarn. Very good hiding places, grows a lot of bacteria. I'll move this back, you can see some of these guys. And they're all through these mops. There's one of the algae wafers down there. It's kind of a glare, but you still can kind of see them. Just going real slow to move this. I don't want to stir up the tank too much. And as for the breeding cave that I use, I have a flower pot here. I use a top on it, and I'll drill a hole in the side, and that's where the male kind of camps out. I don't typically take the top off because I expect there to be babies in there. For the video, I actually will right now. Let's see what's going on. So there you can see the male. Can't quite tell if there's any eggs in there. I don't think there are right now. There actually is a female in there with them, so I'm going to put that right back on. They might be breeding today. So that's actually perfect timing. I don't like taking it off, and then there'd be a bunch of wigglers in there. Sometimes they all swim out, and that can be a problem as well. But a lot of mature females. Tons of babies, you can see them all over the wall. Down in the comments, actually, if you guys want to give a guess of how many fish you think are in this tank, I'd be curious to see what you guys think. There's probably 50 on this wall right here, if I had to go through and actually catch them. But a lot of plecos going on right now. I feel like I just had to capture it on video. Even this front glass right now, you can just see dots everywhere. It almost looks like snails, but most of those are plecos. I also have some German blue rams right now that are growing out. I've shown in videos. I'll do an update on those as well. Check those out. Over here is one of my 29-gallon tanks that I just released a spawn of rams into a few days ago. They're doing really well, eating baby brine shrimp, introducing them to some crushed flake a few times a day as well. But there's just a really good hatch rate of this spawn. You can see those guys. Will try to get a little closer. Already developing their shape, and they're getting some black in their top fin, which is the first stage of their coloring out. really cool at this stage to see them just kind of take shape for the first time and past the point of their most fragile stages in their first 2 weeks. I have another 2 tanks over here of rams that are probably about 3 weeks older. I'll show those guys next. Here's one of the 2 tanks. These guys are about a month and a half old. And I have baby plecos in here as well. They're just about the same age. I did a video on releasing these guys. They're all the same age. Plecos and the rams spawn within a few days of each other. So some of those albinos are really cool. They have like a lot of more yellow color to them than normal. So I'll be curious to grow these guys out and probably keep a few of them, to be honest. Having trouble focusing on these guys up close, and they're in a 10-gallon aquarium. Here's that second tank I was talking about. These are the same age. I split that spawn into 2. They're in a 20-gallon long, and they're already starting to feed on some solid food. So I'll put algae wafers in there, even though these are not algae eaters. I put it in the other tank with the plecos, of course, but you can see them picking away at it. So they'll get their brine shrimp early in the morning, and throughout the day, as if I'm not home or I'm at work, that algae wafer softens up. They can smell it. They'll go down there and graze on that, which this is really good. If they take to the dry foods earlier than not, the fish will grow much faster, and it'll be much easier to sell these guys whenever I do grow them a little bit larger and sell them. They'll take the solid foods much better than feeding brine shrimp for too long of a period of time. And these are in the bigger tank, so they're growing a little bit faster. I don't know if that's because they may be getting more food up here, or they're taking to the dry foods better, or it's just more body of water, which all of those variables come into play. But very pleased that they're eating off those algae wafers and doing well. So that about wraps up the video for today. I only wanted to show those plecos and the rams growing. I just want to stay up on my videos and not wait too long. But these are a newer project as well, and the male is just super colored up today, so I had to show these as well to kind of close this video off. This is my African cichlid breeding group. This is an OB peacock cichlid, and I have 3 females with him, and his color is just looking great today. I've only had him about a month or so, and he's been slowly but surely settling in. I picked him because I always like the kind of the pinks, oranges, and mainly blues, which he's showing off as well right now. He's going to his cave. And his fins are also very long whenever he turns sideways. His pectoral fins are longer than most peacocks. So I'm breeding him with blue neon, sunshine, and a red peacock female cichlids. So I don't really want to go crazy into the cichlids and breed tons of them and breed true strains. But some people don't like the hybrids, but I think he's going to have a very wide range of color in his offspring. So for me to only breed one group of peacock cichlids, I think you just can't go wrong. So this is probably some of the best footage I've gotten of him, and actually myself seeing him today. He's just really looking good. And I'm due for water change this weekend, so probably only get better. There's the females. This one here was holding a week or 2 ago, and I pulled all her fry. They actually looked fertile, but they ended up fungusing up after a few days. So if I get another holding from these females, maybe I'll do a video on that as well. But I'll leave you guys with that little update on the plecos, the rams, and my new project of the peacock cichlids. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video.